Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel. And in this video, we're gonna have a little bit of fun because see, I have a friend who I've known for 50 years, name's Darty. Hey Darty. And she sent me a thing that she had seen online, and it was to dehydrate the jellied cranberry sauce. I am so excited about this. She said, can you do this? And of course, I'm going to give it a try, but I'm not going to give it a try with the little cans. I'm going to give it a try with the big cans, because I'll tell you what, when you have a dehydrator, the fun never ends. So what I'm going to do is I've got this can and I've got my dehydrator ready, and I'm going to use some of the fruit leather trays. And what I'm going to do with these, I'll come back and show you, but I'm going to spritz them ever so slightly with a little bit of spray oil and wipe the tray so that things don't stick on this, because I'm not sure how much this is going to stick, because I'm sure it's got a lot of sugar in it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this kind of like the rings that you see on the label there. And then I'm going to slice them kind of into little fingers. So I'm going to open this can and get to slicing, and I'll come back when they're all sliced into nice little, kind of almost like, you know, like a little cranberry sauce finger. And then I'm going to put them on the dehydrator and we'll see how they turn out. Okay, I've got this out of the can, and now I'm just going to take my nice big knife and kind of slice it into these rings, and I'm going to do it just kind of in half and in half and in half. I think I'm going to get quite a few. Now these are going to shrink up, and the reason I'm doing this is because if you've watched me for a little bit, you'll know that I've mentioned that we are driving to Alaska next month. From Oregon to Alaska, to Fairbanks, not just to the end of Alaska, but all the way up in there. So I wanted to make some road trip goodies, and I think this would be phenomenal. Okay, so now I've got that done. I think I'm going to pull these out one by one on a cutting board here. Let me tilt you down so maybe you can see. There you go. So I'm going to pull these out on a cutting board. Got to be careful because I don't want them to fall apart. Okay. There's that. And then I'm just going to slice like in half and half, and then so they're kind of like a big French fry, because these are going to shrink down. So this is what I have. I have them kind of about like a finger. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these, and then I'll put them on the dehydrator. I'll show you how I put them on the trays. Okay, so what I've already done 7 trays, and I found that with that can, if I cut it, I can cut it into 8 slices, and then I have an 8 tray setup for my dehydrator. But one of the things that I do, I spray a little tiny bit of the spray oil on here. That just keeps it from sticking. And I could, you know, why I'm not putting this directly on the regular tray is because I don't know how small it's going to get. I don't know if it will ease through as it gets warm. It might, you know, as it gets warm, it might kind of, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It might just kind of get stuck in there, and I don't want that to happen. So I've now just wiped this so an ultra thin layer of that non-stick spray. And then the way I'm doing this is I'm just cutting it in half and then in half. And I'm going to do this until each one of these halves, then I'm going to go back and cut them in half, because when I put them on the tray, if they're too thick, I can just cut them down. So that's what I'm doing. I think this one might be a little thick. So then I'm going to cut it straight across. And now I will take my little tray, slide my knife under half of it, and drop it on my little tray. See how handy is that? Okay. And then there we go. So I did that with every one of them. And now I'm just going to take these and kind of pull them apart and randomly lay them around this little, this is a fruit leather kind of a tray liner. Sometimes they're called liners. Sometimes they look different. Sometimes they're like a silicone thing. But this is the one that goes with my Nesco American Harvest dehydrator. And I will probably have to rotate these trays, because the Nesco, I'll show you in a second, it actually has the heating element, and the fan is in the top. My Presto, it's in the bottom, so it blows up. The Nesco blows down. So you're going to get more heat and air transfer closer to the element. So I will have to come in here and check it. And I don't know how long it's going to take. This is Thursday. Today's Thursday. Yeah. And we have a bread, I'm going to cut that one down a little bit, a bread making workshop on Saturday. And wouldn't it be fun if these were all done by then? I assume they will be. And I could take samples. That'll just be fun. Then they'll probably get eaten up and I'll have to come do more for our trip. Okay, that's looking good to me. And now I'm going to pop this right here on the tray like that, and then this is going to stack up. It's like cranberry jerky. Ooh, that's going to be fun. But I'll show you on my Nesco top, you see how the fan and the heating element is in the top, so it's going to blow down. With my Presto, this is the base and it blows up. And then because of that, I'm going to show you, if you're shopping for a dehydrator and you want one of these tend to be a little bit less expensive than the big box type with the drawers. But you always want to make sure with any of these, it's got a nice hole in the middle and it's got like this laddering on the outside so that the air actually will go down there and cycle up through the sides through this laddering, and it kind of makes this cycle type thing. So that's what you want in order to keep good circulation going. But I will have to come in here, probably I'll come and check it maybe every 8 hours and shift trays around so that the ones that are down here that aren't getting done as quick will move up here and I'll just rotate them. Okay, now I'm going to set these on the temperature for fruit and vegetables and fruit leathers, things like that. So it's about 135. I would prefer to do things a little bit lower and slower than hot and fast, because then you can get case hardening where it's done on the outside but it's not done on the inside. So we want to do it that way. So I'm going to set this up, I'm going to turn it on, and I will come back and show you the finished product when it's done, and I'll let you know exactly how long it took. Okay, this has now been done, and I'll show you a couple of things. It got these are quart size zip top bags. So it got 2 quart size zip top bags. Now, what I could do is I could weigh this out into equal weights and divide, make the number of piles equivalent to the number of servings on the back of the can, and then weigh these out, into that many equal size servings. And then I would know how many calories per serving there was. But it reminds me, what I did, you can see these are a lot smaller, because this took about 24 hours and it took a lot longer. So I went ahead and went back into my dehydrator and I sliced them from fingers, the long length, I just sliced them down into chunks, because that way there was more surface area for the air to go around, and so it would help it dry quicker, because it was taking longer than I anticipated, and I thought that would be a great way to get it going. But they kind of remind me of they look like black licorice nibs, and they kind of have pretty much the same chewy consistency, but they taste like a powerful cranberry. They're so good. It's almost like cranberry nibs. If you ever buy the little black licorice squares, my dad used to love those. This is awful lot like that, but it tastes just like cranberry. So that was what I learned, is that I wanted to make the little fingers, but I had to slice them up so they had more surface area for the air to circulate around and help them dry quicker. And there is, if you want to check, they actually are just like a consistency of a black licorice. So they're awesome, and I'm excited to have these on our trip. I think they're going to be a great snack, but it is easy to eat a lot of these. So that's one of the reasons why I thought I would weigh them out in piles equating to the number of servings that was in that can. And that way I'll know how many calories there are in each one of those. And I might just take those and put them in little individual snack bags. So that way I can kind of control it. Otherwise, I could sit there and munch on this and finish half of a number 10 can of jellied cranberry sauce in a day. It'd be easy. So that's my next goal, is basically to break it up into serving sizes so that we can watch those calories a little bit better. And of course, when you have a lot of dehydrated yummies around, you need to make sure that you've got plenty to drink, because your body's going to have to rehydrate this. So there you have it. I'm going to call these cranberry gummy nibs, because they're awesome. And I'm going to have one right now because they're so good. They're chewy. They're just like a licorice, really. So I hope you guys give this a try. It was fun to make. They're good to have. They're going to be great on our trip. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.